So she is working on um, uh, improving the understanding of perturbative QCD collider physics, and she has been working on very interesting topics lately, and she has some very nice new exciting results. A talk next to soft virtual correction to inclusive cross section at colliders. So Surabhi, please, you can proceed.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to present my work. The topic of this presentation is Next to Soft Virtual Correction to Inclusive Cross-Section at the Colliders. The presentation is based on these works done with my collaborators. On Next to Soft Threshold Correction to DIS and SIA processes, on Next to Soft Correction to Drelian and Higgs boson rapidity, and this done by Pooja, Ajat and Ravindran sir on Next to Correction to Drelian Higgs boson productions. I will start with the motivation for doing this work. The Standard Model of Particle Physics is one of the most successful fundamental theories of all time, which got validated by the discovery of the long-awaited particle, the Higgs boson, in July 2012 at the Large Hadron Collider. As a result, new physics may show up as tiny deviations from the predictions of the Standard Model. In light of this, radiative corrections to observables at high-energy colliders become essential to understand the underlying quantum dynamics of the scattering events. There are a large number of accurate measurements already available from these colliders, which can be used to investigate various theories that attempt to describe the physics. The Feynman diagram over here shows the Drelian process which takes place when a quark of one hadron and an antiquark of another hadron annihilate, creating a photon, virtual photon and Z boson, which then decays into a pair of oppositely charged lepton pairs. The second diagram, which is termed as NLO, is the radiative correction to this process. Now let's start with some background. The perturbation theory is one of the most successful methodology to perform the theoretical calculation within the Standard Model, mainly because of our inability to solve the theory exactly. Here the observable can be expanded in powers of the coupling constant associated with the three fundamental forces present within the Standard Model, namely electromagnetic, weak, and strong forces. However, the energy scale at which Large Hadron Collider operates, the dominant contribution, comes from the expansion around the coupling constant for the strong force. The first term of the perturbative series is called the leading order, as you saw in the diagram over here. The next term is called the next to leading order, and so on. In most of the cases, the leading order results do not give a reliable theoretical prediction. In that case, one must go beyond LO, and these beyond LO corrections are called radiative or perturbative QCD corrections. In short, PQCD corrections. The PQCD predictions depend on two unphysical scales, the renormalization μr scale and the factorization μf scale. These scales are basically introduced for renormalizing the theory. The μr arises from the ultraviolet renormalization, where the mass factorization gives rise to μf. The dependence on these scales decreases if we keep on including higher and higher orders in perturbation theory. We will come to this point later as well. Now, in QCD improved parton model, the LHS, which is the hadronic cross-section, can be expressed in terms of non-perturbative parton distribution functions FA and FB and the partonic cross-sections. At high energies, due to factorization property, due to factorization property, the singular long distance pieces can be removed from the partonic cross section and factored into the non-perturbative parton distribution functions of the incoming hadrons. This is termed as mass factorization. These singular long distance pieces are called collinear singularities, and they are denoted by Altarelli-Paresi kernel, this gamma, capital gamma. The partonic cross sections are then calculated perturbatively in powers of a strong coupling constant and are referred to as coefficient function. So over here, when From this equation, these gammas get factored out, they get absorbed into the Bayer-Parton function, and this entire thing becomes a finite thing. CF is also finite, and these FA, FB are renormalized at mu f, scale mu f square. Now moving on, the generic form of any partonic coefficient function, delta AB, is given as in this form. If you can see, it has basically three important parts. The delta 1 minus z part, this ln I 1 minus z upon 1 minus z part, which is called the distribution. And these are the log I 1 minus z part. In certain kinematical regions called the threshold region, in which z tends to 1, these first two contributions are called soft virtual correction, and this one is called next to soft virtual correction. In the kinematical region z tending to 1, we call them a soft limit because the momenta of all the gluons in the virtual and real emission diagrams become infinitesimally small. So now, in addition to the scale uncertainties that we saw previously in the perturbative theory, that it is dependent on mu r and mu f, there is another problem with the perturbative predictions. That is the large logarithms, which become large in certain threshold regions. So we need an alternative method to resum these large logarithms and then supplement it with the fixed order result, which can cover the entire kinematic region of the phase space. We will come back to this resummation properly by the end of this talk. Now let's first try to focus on the fixed order results. So the dominant, so basically beyond leading order, now I'm going to talk about the singularities. So beyond leading order, the coefficient functions delta AV, they contain ultraviolet as well as IR divergences. There are two categories of IR divergences, namely soft divergences and collinear divergences. The soft divergences arise when the momentum of a gluon emitted from the initial or final states and those in the loops of the virtual diagrams approaches zero. So the first divergence is basically encapsulated in the form factor, which has all the knowledge about the virtual diagram. And the second divergence, kind of soft divergence, gets encapsulated in this function SC, which is called the distribution function, Now, the second type of IR divergence is the collinear divergence. Here we have, and one more thing, these for virtual diagram divergence and the real diagram divergences, they get cancelled between each other. So finally, we get infrared safe observables. Now, the collinear singularity results when a massless or light parton becomes collinear to the external particle from which it has been emitted. The final state collinear singularities cancel among themselves by appropriately carrying out the summation over degenerate state. The initial state singularity are mass factorized into the BL PDF in the MS bar scheme at the factorization scale mu f, the way we just showed before. Over here, all the initial collinear singularities are mass factorized into this gamma. And these are called the AP Alterelli-Parisi kernels. They get factored out into the Bayer PDF, giving you a renormalized PDF. So now the UV finite mass factorized. Okay, one more point I wanted to say. The fixed order perturbative results are therefore sensitive. We have seen that sensitive to scales mu r and mu f. However, since the observables are renormalization group invariant, their scale uncertainties could be reduced if the results are known to sufficiently high order in a strong coupling constant. In theory, they could be strictly independent of the choice of these scales if the entire perturbative expansion were known. Now, the UV finite mass factorized partonic coefficient function for the diagonal channel is given by this equation. Over here, the gamma is the Alterelli-Parisi kernel, FC is the form factor which encapsulates virtual contributions, ZCUV is the overall UV renormalization constant, and SC, as we saw before, is called the soft distribution function, and it encapsulates real emission contributions. So now I will talk in detail about this soft distribution function, as it is the one that contains next to soft virtual contributions. All the next to soft virtual logarithms are present in this soft distribution function. So this SC soft distribution function satisfies Sudakov type differential equation that follows from the gauge as well as renormalization group invariances similar to the form factor. The solution to this equation is given by this equation. Here you can see there are two phi structure, phi A and phi B. The phi A contains distributions and delta, and this is the soft virtual part. Now this phi B encapsulates the next to soft virtual part, and it contains logarithms of the structure ln to the power I 1 minus z. Now this is the expressions. I don't want to go into much mathematical detail, but this is the expression for phi A that we will get. This is the SV part, is a soft virtual phi, soft distribution. This is the soft next to soft virtual phi distribution. Here, for to see the structure properly, since for SV a lot of study has been done in the past, but NSV is the first thing, is a very recent thing that people have started focusing on. So we divided that into a singular and the finite part to see the structures properly. So over here, the SP part of the solution phi A contains so in the beginning, our main aim was how to parameterize this phi B. So this parameterization was done on the basis of this fact that the phi A contains the soft and collinear divergences proportional to distribution delta 1 minus z and all the logarithmic structure to cancel those from the form factor entirely and AP kernels partially. The NSV part phi B, this removes the remaining collinear divergences of the AP kernels. So now moving on, the all order result given in delta, that is the coefficient function, this is the master formula which can be used for obtaining SV plus NSV contribution to this delta C order by order in perturbation theory, provided various functions that appear in the psi like ZUV, form factor, phi and gamma are known to desired accuracy. In particular, it can predict certain SV and NSV terms to all orders in coupling constant in terms of lower order terms. That we will see later on how about this predictive power. In the above formula, we keep the entire form factor and the overall renormalization constant as they are proportional to only delta 1 minus z. However, in functions, the soft distribution function phi c and this gamma c, we keep only SV and NSV terms which are the dominant contributions. We neglect all other non-dominant contributions. Now, this is the all order predictions for delta C that I was talking just a while ago. So now the predictive power of the master formula, we'll talk about the predictive power of this master formula. The given ZUV, FC, phi C and gamma CC up to a certain order in perturbation theory, we show that the master formula can predict certain SV and NSV terms to all orders in perturbation theory. The Partonic coefficient function delta C can be expanded order by order, as we can see over here in perturbation theory in powers of AS. This delta Ci contains both SV plus NSV contribution. It can be just written as delta I equals to delta SVI plus delta NSVI. So now given the distribution function phi up to a certain order AS, there are several SV and NSV logarithms which can be predicted to all orders in AS. For example, we observe that phi C is known at if phi C is known at leading order with these coefficients. These D1 is nothing but this thing. This is Di, ln to the power I 1 minus z upon 1 minus z, and this I have termed as Li. So this is the distribution and this is the NSV logarithm. So if you know at the leading order for phi, if you know the coefficient for these things, then at 2 loop you can predict for D3, that is log ln to the power 3 1 minus z upon 1 minus z coefficient, ln to the power 2 1 minus z upon 1 minus z coefficient, and ln to the power 3 1 minus z coefficient. Similarly for at h to the power 3, coupling constant to the power 3, and in general for any I. So as you can see the towers, the predictive power is actually very encouraging over here. So now moving on, there's one more point that I wanted to say regarding phi A and phi B. Even though we have seen that phi A contains only distributions and delta, and phi B contains the other NSV logarithm, but because of this exponential structure, when it is expanded, this SV terms, they contribute to next to soft virtual terms to delta C. This phi contains distribution. So when you expand this exponential, the distribution don't directly get don't directly get multiplied. They get convoluted together. So distribution and distribution, when two distribution gets convoluted together, they produce distributions, but at the same time next to soft virtual logarithms. And when the distributions get convoluted with the next to soft virtual logarithms, they give you pure NSV logarithms. So the leading solution phi A, that is the phi SV, plays an important role for generating next to soft virtual terms for the coefficient function at every order in perturbation theory. Previously, when we used to consider only till soft virtual, we used to neglect all the next to soft virtual terms, and we used to take the results only for the SV part. But now people have started taking into account the NSV part as well. So now let's move on to the next topic, that is resummation. The importance of incorporating resummation formalism in the computation arises due to the presence of SV distributions and NSV logarithms in CF that we have seen in our beginning slides. In the threshold limit z tending to 1, these logarithmic structures become large at every order in AS, which could potentially spoil the reliability of the truncated perturbative series. For instance, at higher orders, the product of coupling constant and distribution become order 1, and when these contributions get summed till till infinity, like if you are doing a's to the power I into like a's to the power 2 into d1, a's to the power I into dj minus 1, then if you do add these contributions till j tending to infinity, they have to be taken into account to make any sensible prediction, because their value becomes appreciable. You cannot just truncate the perturbative series at some point and say that this will make sense. The higher order, these distributions from the higher order, from the point from where you truncated, spoil the reliability. So the integral, so this is the case. So now to study all order behavior, resummation is done in kinematical regions, threshold region z tending to 1. The integral representation of coefficient function is used in Mellin space as the convolutions become normal product in a space, and it becomes very easy to handle. The Mellin space moment of coefficient function is given by this formula. Over here, this psi n contains both SV and NSV contribution. The limit z tending to 1 translates to n tending to infinity. The NSV contribution that we were seeing in z space in terms of logarithm ln to the power I 1 minus z gets translated into 1 by n corrections in Mellin space. Now the psi SV is already known to great detail. Now this is the modified resummed expression where we have taken into account phi SV plus phi NSV. Now this phi SV is already known in great detail in the literature. Phi NSV is the new result that we have achieved by our formalism. In phi SV, these coefficients G1, G2, for example, the coefficient G1, it contains the all order contribution coming from the leading logarithm. For example, at a's to the power 1, it contains ln square n, a's to the power 2, it contains ln to the power 4n, and so on. All order contribution for the leading log at each order is encapsulated in G1. Similarly, G2 will contain next to leading order logarithms at all order. Similarly, the new result that we have HI, this is the NSV part. Here you will get, for the NSV part, you will get logarithms like ln to the power I n upon n. So these also, H1 will encapsulate all the leading logarithms of this kind of 1 by n correction. H2 will encapsulate all next to leading correction of this kind of 1 by n corrections. So now, in conclusion, using IR factorization and UV renormalization group invariance, we show that both SV and next to SV contribution satisfy Sudakov differential equation whose solution provides an all-order perturbative result in a strong coupling constant. The all-order master formula that we obtain in Z space demonstrates a perturbative structure which can predict certain SV and NSV logarithms to all orders in a strong coupling constant AS given the lower order results, as we saw in the table just 2-3 slides before. The inclusion of NSV term enhances the precision, as can be seen in the plot given in the recent papers of Mock. Here you can see he has plotted this variable on the x-axis. He has plotted n, and then this is the n3 LO coefficient function. At n3 LO, he has calculated the coefficient function and varied it with this variable n, Mellin space variable n. So this black line is the exact result which he has calculated. And as you can see, the SV result is actually undermining the exact result by by a considerable amount. But if you see SV plus NSV contribution, which is this dashed line, especially for N, for larger N, it is agreeing very perfectly with the exact result. So this is actually a very big motivation to do further research and keep on digging things, how things are going to appear for this NSV formalism. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Surabhi, for this very nice talk. And we're open to questions. So please, if you have questions, please unmute and ask. Yeah, I had a question for you. So you mentioned at some point that that if you have calculated observables to all series in the coupling constant, then your results will be independent of the scale.
Because the perturbative series means that you are going to truncate. If you are actually going to add all the points, it is going to give you exact result. And the exact result is never going to be dependent on anything. An observable is a physical thing. It's a finite result. So if you calculate it exactly, then it will not depend on any intermediate scale. All
But
these scale,
as you know,
comes
any
at
perturbation series is asymptotic series. It is not a convergent series. So how do you state this?
That I was just, it's not an assumption. I was just saying, in case if you get a perturbative series, in which you can actually add all order contribution, which is obviously not possible because it's not convergent. But if you can do it theoretically, it was basically to show you to show the importance that if you keep on adding higher and higher order terms, then the dependence decreases. The dependence on mu r and mu f decreases. With each order, the dependence keep on decreasing.
And is it known that these perturbation series is a convergent series? Usually it's an asymptotic series, right? So
yeah, that is true. Actually, I said that point only to make this thing give this importance to the radiative correction, to give you one more motivation to add higher and higher order corrections. Because with each order correction, the dependency of the result on mu r and mu f decreases.
Okay, so it will still be there because it's an asymptotic series.
Yeah, it will be there, but it will decrease. If you are taking leading order for next whatever dependency that it has, that scale dependency, it will definitely is going to decrease in NLO. And in our this thing only, Pooja Najat and Sir, they have done these papers where they have shown how at different orders, this this scale dependency keeps on decreasing. They have shown it numerically.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Well, I see no further questions, so you can always email if you have any further questions regarding her talk. We have only one talk, so we conclude the session here, and we would like to meet in the next edition of the Institute Seminar Days. Thanks for coming, and thanks.